You were live, Jaydog.
No, you're live. I'm here
Pres-
with you.
President Dog.
Yes, President Dog.
What breed of dog is the president dog?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to any of that.
So, let's see here. We'll give it about 2 minutes, and if we ain't got nobody in here, we're just gonna say, "Fine, we don't want to play.
Yeah,
Take our ball and go home.
we'll shut down YouTube. We're done.
Hit the off switch." So,
I'll delete my channel and change my name.
I should have created a link last night when you text me, but didn't feel like it. We
There's
got
Eric B.
Eric B in the house.
What's up, buddy?
Big John.
Big
Big
Bad
fat
John.
John. Kind of broad at the shoulder and there at the hip. And everybody knew you didn't give no lip to Big John. All righty, we got a few people coming in. And we got Catfish Bandit and Brian B in the house.
Yo, 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 they say. What's up, guys?
Brian and Brian.
Which Brian you like better?
It's about a tie. I don't think I like either of them.
I like Catfish Bandit better because he ain't never called and hollered at me.
Brian B be hollering at you.
Yeah, because I was messing with his boy Has.
Got on that tail, didn't he?
He did.
Lit a fire under you. Said if you want to smoke, you're gonna end up burnt.
That's right. Getting over his allergies. Yeah, stop stealing his yos, Brian.
Brian B trying to steal Catfish Bandit swag. God bless. So, are you feeling any better since fishing yesterday?
I did until you made me stand up and read comments all day, and then Brian hollered at me again for YouTube 101. Pay
Well, look
attention to
here.
chat.
He wasn't talking to you. He was talking to you. Had Ricky up there who wouldn't hush and look at chat for nothing. And then normally NJ's great about reading chat, and then he didn't read any of it. And Uncle Lou had been backstage for like an hour. I was like,
It never showed up.
no, he had been backstage for a while.
Wouldn't it
And
make more sense after 5 minutes to just shut it down and then say, "Let me know when you're ready for me"?
and we're like, God bless it. The one time he's actually talked him into coming up here, and they're gonna mess around, and he's gonna say, "All right, to heck with this." What's Brian B saying? I spell my name the real way, so I'm the normal and original Brian. How does
He's
the
a,
other Brian spell it? With a Y or something?
yeah, probably BRY.
Oh,
Oh, we got Hooksy.
Hooksy Daisy. So when you going back out, J Dog?
Uh, Probably December.
December.
Make sure my back heals good.
Oh well, was you going to go out this evening?
I was, but Greenwell had to cancel because he's got to work, which was good because I was going to have to cancel anyways.
Was you?
Yeah, there's Kelly. I couldn't go out there and hurt myself anymore. I need to just sit here as much as I hate doing it, but
Much as you hate doing it. Yeah, he texted at 6 o'clock this morning. Said that work was gonna get in the way. See here, let me swap over and do something real quick.
Catfish Bandit says, I don't like being normal. That's boring. Give me sure I read chat. You holler at me for that.
Uh, I've never yelled at you in my life. I don't know what you're talking about.
Good Lord, Jaydog, help me with the chat. Jeez.
Oh my God. What's Uncle Lou say? I better put my feet up.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't see him in there, but yeah, that's what he'd say.
So,
There are no excuses. There's plenty of excuses that don't mean they're any good.
try and drop this link in case anybody else wants to come up with us, unless you're just saying, no, it's not an open panel today because it's your show.
It my show. Whose channel is this on?
Who's the first name on the roster?
Well, that's just because you put it on there that way.
You had the first name on the roster, Jaydog.
Tupperware man. Must be making fun of Kelly.
What they calling Kelly Tupperware Man for? I'm lost on that.
Because of his boat.
Oh, don't be
It's
making fun of his little Tykes boat.
Yeah, I mean, that was his daughter's sandbox when she was younger. It's 15 foot, Kelly, wasn't it?
Brian B, the Tupperware Man might be buying a 16-foot boat, so you don't. So what do you think about that?
Oh, there's Chadwick.
Said, get you some and go for it.
Yeah. Get it got gone.
Don't talk about it. Be about
Right?
it. Your old lady ain't gonna let you come off no money, Kelly. Your allowance ain't big enough to buy that boat. So how'd you end up with all those little bitty skipjacks? You casting at them or did you actually catch them?
No, I actually called him.
Is that those ones you caught a while back and you just had them froze?
Yeah, I just vacuum sealed everything. I've been wanting to fill my deep freeze. That way, when winter rolls around, I got bait.
4 days left in auction. What kind of auction is it? Dang eBay auction?
He sent me the link last night for it. Some kind of auction in Kentucky where they auction off stuff.
I mean, when he said auction, I was thinking, like an estate sale or something, and he was gonna go by here Saturday and bid on it. If it's got 4 days left in the auction, like they're letting, that's some kind of like eBay auction.
Yeah. Oh, there's Squirtus Curtis. He'll come up here with us. Come up here, Curtis.
Then you could get a lid and use the other boat as storage for your. Good morning, Cody and President Jaydog.
Mike Irvin.
Boats, trucks, trailers, all kinds of stuff like tractors.
Yep.
Well, those first couple things were nothing like tractors. I guess I get what you're saying. MI6 in the house.
Yeah, Ford Brothers auction.
Hooksy said, little Tykes auction. That's the perfect size for him.
Yeah.
why did he even put that in the comments? Well, oh well, oh well. So, well, insurance called Daddy last night, Jaydog.
What'd they say?
They told him that if we wanted them to pay for any of our rods, reels, anything like that that got lost or tore up during it, we
Need a
needed
receipt.
receipts.
Yep.
And he said, "No, I don't need receipts." He said, "I ain't got no receipts. I didn't plan on anybody broadsiding me on the lake, so it make me lose everything."
All right.
Said, "Y'all can get it figured out and come back with an offer pretty soon, or we'll just go a different route with all this." And they said, "Okay, we'll call back and by Friday." So, hopefully, I get it figured out here soon.
There's Clearview. Ooh, we got Skippy.
Thank you, Skip. Thank you. Got bullets and barbecue in the house. Well, but
Good morning, Skippers.
I'm not going to be too discouraged by it yet because I'm pretty sure, I mean, it's just the way the insurance works. They're going to say, we're not doing this, we're not doing that. It's kind of the guy's job to try to get them out of paying as much as they can. But
Right.
I think he's made it clear that, that's not acceptable and that they should, I don't know, stay positive about the whole ordeal. You could fill the boat up with water and Chris could have a swimming pool. He could get in with no life vest.
Skippy, have you heard from Roger? He tried to call me yesterday, and I tried to call him back, but he didn't answer.
Let me see if I have no way of getting this from the computer to. 1 second, I'm gonna try to pull screen share this that Kelly sent to me. All right.
All right. Let's go Rero.
1 second, let me try this. Kelly, I think you're a mod in here. Drop that link in the chat, and I'll see if I can pull it up on the computer. Bobcat's in the house.
Oh, Bob Kitten. He's my hero.
He's your hero.
He's my hero.
Let me know if. Well, actually, I can just drop it in chat myself. Let's see here. Copy.
Oh, we're his favorite misfits.
He's done it to it. It won't let me. All right, that didn't work. I guess I'll get to typing.
Yeah, you have video evidence of property. Try using that in place of a receipt.
Yeah, no, I sent the guy pictures of everything on the boat and stuff, So
There's fence seeker, Mr. Jeremy.
I think that's just, what they try to do.
When you gonna go crappie fishing?
Me and Jeremy, I went out with Jeremy on Sunday evening. We caught quite a few, and then he texted me Monday morning about 6 o'clock and said, "I'm headed back if you want to go." I didn't wake up till about 7:30, so I did not go that day because even if he was still near the ramp, I would have still had to get the boys dressed and take them to mamas and stuff, so I would have a babysitter. And then he texted me later that day, said, "You missed an epic day of fishing. Made me nice and sick." Sent me a picture of a bunch of slabs, a cooler full of slabs. So
There he is. How you feeling, Muskrat?
what would be wrong with the muskrat?
He's just not been feeling good. He's getting old, wore out.
Say he's withered.
He's weathered,
Withered.
withered away. He said, "Hello, ladies."
Huh. Well, I typed every bit of that crap in and oh, 1 second. I might have missed a backslash there. Let's try. See if this fits it. Kelly, it does not look like it's something I'm going to be able to bring up, buddy.
Man, I tell you, I'm dealing with a rookie here.
Yep. I don't have any way of all right, back over here. I don't have any way of getting it from my phone to here. Oh well. Anyways,
You tried.
I tried my best. I tried my greatest.
All it matters.
That's what I say. So, anyways, he had a picture of a little boat he wanted me to show. Said this is uh Chris Lee's boat. Let's see here.
Can only imagine.
Look, what kind of boat is that, Jaydog?
I don't know. I've never seen it. I don't know what.
It's on screen.
Oh, I got the chat up. Hold on. Oh, that's a little sailboat.
What's it like a little catamaran?
Hey, that make a cool little catfishing boat, though. You got your little cabin to sleep in. That's the boat he's talking about being Chris's.
Yeah. Is that Ford Brother auction in Somerset, Kentucky? Maybe we'll see the boat that Kelly's wanting to buy too.
There you go. Everybody tell him. Hope he feels better. I hate for something to happen to old Muskrat. I mean, I'd take the number one best selling or best fishing on YouTube if I have to, but you know.
1 second. Here's the wife.
He said, Curtis, stop copying me. Tell him, Curtis, I knew you are, but what am I? I knew you are, but what am I? What are you doing, Curtis? Nothing. Bob Kitten, why ain't you up here with us?
Right, I'm back. Back in black.
He's bringing sexy back. Yep.
All right.
Nobody wants to come up here and play.
Let's go screen share.
And we're too boring by ourselves. Oh, he'll pop up once he gets to the shop.
All right. Back over here. Sure. Let's see if we can look at the boat that Kelly's wanting to buy.
I mean, it'd be a decent little boat for him.
Here's the boat he was saying Chris Lee needs. Look, they're only asking $125. They got $120 bid on it.
Who'll
Heck,
give me 130?
125 probably ain't a bad price for that little thing. The little trailer's worth a little money.
You put your little 20 horse on the back of that, put your heater in there, and you got your catfish boat for the winter.
Let's see. Why is it when I drag on the screen, it's not making big arrows? All right, let's go back away from, or see if we can go to the next picture. See if I got any more pictures of it. There we go. Next. You got any pictures of the inside of it?
He don't want to grow up. He's a Toys R Us kid.
That says 18 foot. It says it's 18-foot boat. Sailboat.
Wow. Hooks just sent me a picture of Kelly's real boat. I hope he sent it to you.
He did.
Did he? I bet you can't show that on camera.
No.
It would have been my channel. I would have.
No, you wouldn't have.
Yeah, I would have.
Would you?
Yeah, I don't care.
Let's go live and let's see.
Well, we're already on yours now.
Lot 387. Tell me if I pass up lot 387, I guess.
How am I going to watch chat and watch you then? There's a Rhino bass boat.
It's a 1960. Let's see here. There it is. Boat has title. Once you get you that pontoon there, killer.
I think it's got a 20 or 25. What's the bid at? Asking 120. I should get on there and put a $300 bid in.
Is that a big dent in it? Right there.
Ernie the Hogs, not you.
So this is the boat Kelly's talking about buying. Let's see here. Zoom out some more.
Send the picture to Brian. He wants to see it. He'll probably buy it himself.
Thought he said he was looking at a John boat.
It is a John boat.
Oh,
Little
okay.
V bottom.
Yeah, a little V bottom boat. 25 horse Johnson.
Where are they located at?
Kelly be a good little fishing boat for you, especially if I don't know what this asking price means. Does that mean you can just go buy it for 120?
That means that's the next bid, I guess.
Oh, that's what it is. That's why it's only okay. $5 intervals.
I bet if he went in there and put a $300 bid in it, he'd win it.
You want to just run it up all at once.
Yeah, you do. That's what they're going to do at the end.
This has the title.
Muskrats in the basement. Oh, sweet Jesus. We got the legend.
The man, the myth, the legend.
I'm nervous. I don't know what to do with my hands.
You must be talking about somebody else.
Your voice even sounds a little raspy this morning. You feel that bad?
You must have been in that boat.
It's been rough here a couple of weeks, bud. To be honest.
I hate to hear that.
I'll be all right.
Keep on keeping on, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, we all love the muskrat, and we hope you get better.
I appreciate it. I got some tests coming up, which is terrible because I was never good at taking tests in school.
And these are tests you definitely don't want to fail.
Yeah. All right.
Or I guess you want to fail. You don't want to be positive, I guess.
Here we go again. YouTube 101. Read the chat, Lamont.
What's the chat say?
That was Brian being a smart aleck again. Time him out.
Let's see here. I'm reading it. I thought you were reading the chat.
You want me to look at pictures? I can't do both.
All right, I'll work better.
What is going on here?
Well, Kelly's looking to buy a new boat. We was just looking at the boats that at this auction Kelly's talking about. And there's a little 1960s boat, but I told him he needs to be bidding on this pontoon. He can get the old wife and kids out with him. I mean, because he knows he's not allowed to leave her side, so he better buy something that she can fit in with him.
That's right. Pontoon's hard to beat, man. I miss my pontoon all the time.
There's art. My
But
favorite customer.
here's what Kelly's bidding on, and the bid's pretty low right now, so I think that's what is most attractive about it. It's just a really affordable price. No telling what it'll end up at, but
As long as it stays under $600-700, it's still a heck of a deal. I mean, the motor alone is worth $500.
I mean,
If
if
it
it
runs.
runs,
Right.
you're buying something at an auction. It's they're gonna let you. And I know people say hook them up to a water hose, whatever, run them in a barrel. If I'm buying a used boat, I want to put it on the water and fill it under load
Right.
because you can have a motor that runs great when it's not under load, but as soon as it gets the weight of the boat and the resistance on it, it just wants to die.
That's a
Yep.
fact.
That is absolutely.
So
Best way, if you can't put it on the water is take a compression test. Do a compression test on it. If you've got good compression, at least even compression on all cylinders, then you're normally okay there. You don't have major damage. But if you can't run it, a compression test will tell you a lot.
And the compression test isn't hard to run. I mean, take the spark plug out, have a compression gauge, screw it into the spark plug, and
Put your
turn the
throttle
motor
full
on.
blast and crank it over.
Yeah, it's good. Think it. People
There's
hear
Uncle
compression
G.
tests and it sounds a little more complicated than it is, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just telling you if the motor's sealed up.
That's how I got a good deal on the Muskrat. He won like $6,000 for that boat, and I got up there, did a compression test, and one cylinder on that, it had a V4 Evinrude, and one cylinder was completely dead. It would still, it was very stubborn to get started and get idling, but once it got warmed up, it would actually run on 3 cylinders well enough that he didn't even realize he had a dead cylinder.
So and it was hard to get started because it was have to overcome all the vapor lock inside that one cylinder where the unburnt gas was.
Yep. So I ended up getting it a lot cheaper.
What did it end up being on that cylinder?
The rings had busted and they were all chewed up. It beat up the piston. The cylinders was all scratched up. I called around a lot of boat shops down by my house to see what it cost to rebuild that thing. You guys are like, it ain't even worth it. 1983 Evinrude 140.
Yeah, by the time you sleeve it or whatever you got to do, even if you could get by with just honing it, buying a new piston, having it completely ripped apart, then you got all new gaskets and stuff. Yeah. Adds up quick.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be worth. And then you still got a 1983 motor.
Right. That's hard to find parts for.
Yeah. So the way I ended up doing it, I bought the boat as if the motor wasn't there. So he just sold me the hull, which I think I paid like $2,500 to $3,000. I think I paid $3,000 for just the hull. And I put an ad on Facebook, said I'm looking for boat motor. And some guy I've never talked to contacted me and said that he's got a bass boat that's been sitting in his yard for 2 years. He bought it, they parked it, and it's never been moved. He said, I don't know if it runs. If you can get it to run, I'll sell it to you. I said, well, that's a cool deal. I said, but how much are you asking for the boat? He said, let's start at what do you say, $2,000. And I was like, well, that's more than what I was. I know, maybe it was $1,000. He said we'll start at $1,000. He said, whatever it takes for you to get it running, we'll take off the price, and whatever's left over at the end is what you owe. Well, I happened to rebuild the carburetors and put a new, water pump and a whole bunch of stuff. And by the time I was done, I spent like $750 on the motor. He said, all right, you owe me $250.
Really?
For the whole boat.
And it was a freshened up motor, or at least the normal stuff, carbs cleaned,
Yeah, well,
Water
obviously,
pump.
like I checked the compression. I had, the carbs have been all cleaned on it, new wires, plugs, and all that stuff. Later down the road, I ended up having to put more work into it, as you guys know. But yeah, it's a boat motor. It's still on it right now. But
How big a motor do you have on the Muskrat?
it's a Johnson 150.
150. That's what I thought. So, and it didn't have a Johnson before, but Johnson Everrood have the same controls, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So you didn't run into any big problems trying to swap it over or anything?
No. And the bass boat, I mean, it's pretty rough shape after sitting for 2 years, but I took my time, went through it pretty good, and cleaned it up real good. I took the 140 with the dead cylinder and just bolted it on the back. I didn't hook up the cables, wires. I didn't hook up nothing. And I put it on Facebook, $1,500, and I sold it the next day.
It's a big
So
Johnson too.
You ended up with 10 more horsepower and saved $1,500 because, or actually better than that. No, you got it took you in the negative on that towards the other boat. So yeah, you ended up with way less in the Muskrat than what you originally thought because of all the trouble. Because you made $1,250 on the other boat.
Yeah.
Jaydog needs to sell me the Muskrat 2.0.
He got a steal on that boat, did he not, Roger?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a heck of a boat, man. If he hangs on to that thing and puts the time into it, it'll make a heck of a boat. I love
Don't
my
encourage him, guys.
Freddie said, got the new motor up to 9.7 mile an hour just now. Woohoo!
Son.
That just don't sound right. That's got to go faster than that.
It's a small motor though. What?
That's a 25 horse, ain't it?
Yeah, 25 horse.
He's going from a 9.9.
That should be faster than that.
Yeah,
my 25 Mariner on a 1648 flat bottom boat that I used to have would do about 25.
Yeah.
I mean, he should be 15, 16 at least.
Yeah,
I
because
think so.
I got a 12-foot little semi V John boat that I have a 2 horsepower Suzuki on, and it'll do 8 mile an hour.
There's something wrong. He probably need a carb plane, got a jet plugged or something.
Or he ain't got his tilt right, and he's got the front of the nose of the boat shoving in the water because he should run
trim
15.
can affect that too.
Yeah, he's got to run 15.
I told the guy that bought the boat, and I told him it had a dead cylinder. I told him why I took it off my boat and bought the other boat, swapped motors and everything. He said I can rebuild that motor. He says no problem.
All right.
I didn't stick nobody. I wouldn't want to be done that way. So
Ernie Brown, what's going down?
Greenwell. Hey, let's quit running down Freddie's excitement. He was happy about the speed his boat was going. Jaydog, you don't need to be just trying to hound him.
He'll be more excited when he gets it up to about 15 where it should be.
Yeah, when he gets it running right.
He said, I got the boat loaded. He's done with it. Look here. Y'all done run this parade.
Yeah, it's kind of like fish, you know what I mean? Trophy is relevant to your waters or your standards.
Yeah, I've had a million boats. I know that should at least be 15, 14, 16, something in that area.
He's going up a river with 35 mile an hour current. He's whitewater rafting that thing.
He was getting five or six out of a 5 horse
on the fallen lander. Plus, a fiberglass hull weighs more than aluminum, so you got to factor that in.
Yeah,
I know, but if you're getting 5 or 6 out of a 5 horse, you should triple that with all that other power.
Oh, he said the boat's loaded down with stuff. He's got a lot of weight in the boat.
I got you. That's like
all
me.
Them lights.
My boat would go a heck of a lot faster if I didn't have so much stuff in it. You know what I mean? I got 7 deep cycle batteries in my boat.
7.
And that big old head don't help nothing.
All right, we'll boot Jaydog for a minute until he can play nice.
Time him out.
No, I keep my boat loaded completely down. Yeah, I'd rather have everything I need on the water and go slower than.
All right.
Yeah.
So how many mile per hour do you think putting the T-bars on the back of Daddy's boat took off? It was surprising to me that it made a difference at all.
Mile and a half.
Almost 3.
Maybe.
It was like 2.5 mile an hour just having those
Wow.
T-bars back there.
I wonder if that was wind drag or weight.
Yeah.
It's not weight; they're aluminum. I mean, the weights.
Well, they're pretty heavy though. They're thick aluminum.
They don't weigh that. They don't weigh that much.
They're not that heavy.
It's completely wind drag. Of course, anytime we're on the water, when we before we ever put the boat in, we put the rods in there, so that adds wind drag, them being up in there and stuff. But yeah, it was like 3 mile an hour. It shaved off. Took it from like 35 to like it'll bounce between 32 and 33.
That boat was running 35.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, easy.
What did it have on it?
Just a 50.
Dang, that's kind of surprising.
It'd run a hair over 35 if you if you trim it up some once you got on plane, you know.
My
35 is leaving it all with the trimmed all the way down, just laying into it.
my 17, got G3 1756 with a 60 two-stroke on it. 32 miles an hour is about top speed on it.
The boat that I sold Lee had a 50, and it'll run between 32 to 35.
Definitely.
If Matt for want to be outdoors, he's in here.
What's up, Matt?
Wind drag's a lot more resistance than Wade ever thought about being. I mean,
yeah, I guess
got
the
a
center
little-
console probably has a little more wind drag than a side console where you're sitting down in the hull. Never thought about that.
got a little utility trailer, and it's got a mesh backdrop gate on it. And you would think with it being mesh, and it's a thick mesh, I mean like a 1 inch gap mesh or so, that it wouldn't get that much wind drag.
Yeah.
With the gate on it, if I'm using it for pulling motor or something, I've got to have the gate on it. So it feels like you're pulling a parachute behind you. I can slide that gate off, and I can't even feel the trailer back there. And it's only adding 100 pounds, you know.
Art, I'll tell you the dog pound.
My next boat's going to be a 2072. I don't care how fast it runs. I just want more
2072.
room. I just want more floor space. I want more room in the boat.
There's a fella here in Scottsville's got a 2072 War Eagle. Nice boat, perfect shape.
$500.
I think 15,000, but
That's close.
That's not a bad price for a newish boat.
it's a few years old, but I mean it's not old by any means.
Why don't y'all buy that?
Not the floor plan.
What kind of floor plans it got in it?
It's kind of just an open floor plan, you know.
Oh, well, that's good for catfishing.
But it's not what we're looking for.
What is it, side console or center console?
Let me see if I can find it.
He wants a Sea Arc.
I do want a Sea Arc Pro Cat 240, but it ain't gonna happen.
Whew, that's a lot of money, dude. You know, everybody gets hung up on the extra. I think it's like a 15,000th of the inch aluminum on those Sea Arcs. I don't think that's really that relevant. I think that just adds a lot of extra weight. I don't think you need a hull that's 0.1 or 0.115 thick. I think 0.100 is what the industry standard is for aluminum boats. Is plenty thick enough.
Isn't it 1.24? I thought it was.
Yeah, it might be. It might be. To me, that just adds a bunch of extra weight. I mean, unless you're running around stumps all the time, I don't know that you need that additional hull thickness. If you think about the additional weight that adds to the hull, I don't know. To me, that seems like it'd be more of a negative than a positive.
Yeah, that's a lot of aluminum at that point.
Yeah.
Ricky would be a good one to have, but to be honest with you, I'm really not wanting to add anybody to the team at this point that doesn't already pretty much do this live stuff, because Kind of like just like the tournament last weekend, you know, all these people signed up and wanted to be there, but only 50% of the people that signed up made it to the tournament. So,
hey, I was there.
yes, he was represented.
I showed up.
100.4 pounds of fish and 3
I tell you
fish.
what, I was really, man, when I got up and got ready to go, it started, the sky opened up, Roger, and it started pouring rain. I was like, oh, this is going to suck. I started to call Anthony and back out, but I thought, no, I said I was going to do it. I kept looking at the radar, and I mean, they kept calling for thunderstorms throughout the day, and I was like, dang it. Like, well, we'll go. It's only an hour away. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I didn't have a
boat
choice.
ramp's not that far from the boat ramp's not that far from the dam, so I was like, we always run back to the dam, start popping lightning.
Yeah,
But it worked out. I'm glad we did it.
I was excited, man, watching you down there. Got my heart pumping, man. I love fishing down there.
Oh yeah, it was. I'll definitely be going back. I'd like to go down to. I'd like to go down to. What's Wheeler? I'd like to go down to Wheeler for the next one, but you know, in what's October 1st or October, the first Saturday in October. Man, they
1st.
may be spilling too much water because they start drawing down the lake, and you know, I don't know. We'll see how things go.
It's too much water to bump.
Hey, you always go further downstream. That's true.
Right. Here's the thing: a lot of people don't bump Wheeler, which I don't understand. But when Zach was down there with Doc, they bumped it and they tore the fish up just like they would anywhere else. But like all these tournaments and stuff they have on Wilson and Wheeler, nobody bumps it. Nobody bumps
That's crazy.
Wheeler.
Whisker Green.
Why?
Wheeler's shallow. It's kind of like right there at Chickamauga. It starts out real shallow, and it's pretty wild, but fish are in there.
Yeah, I mean, most of my fish come out of 8 to 15 feet of water when I'm bumping.
Bug man.
That's the truth.
Fishing in freedom.
Good morning, fellas.
You missed Chad's comment back there.
I ignored Chad's comment.
Catfish Bandit told Bobcat he should have stayed home.
Yeah, you wish, buddy. You wish.
I wish I could have went, but I was stuck on the couch. There's no way.
I wish we could have. I wish we could have seen the fish Brian had on that day.
Did I tell you what we figured out, Roger? We figured out.
There was a hump.
There was a little peninsula that, like, if you're got the dam to your back and you're standing right here, there's a little cove that comes out of where the generators are at, and there's a little peninsula that kind of juts out in the water. Well, we figured out that them big fish were hanging. They're just sitting on the front side of that where it slopes down and waiting on food to come out of there. And man, once we figured that out, there was another guy who was up there. I guess he was probably a guide, and he figured it out too because he seen that first fish I caught out of that 44, and he started working that hunt too. And we were kind of playing leapfrog. He'd go up and they were drifting live shiners, and he'd go up and he'd drift live shiners down through there. Then I'd leapfrog in front of him, and he kept shortening up his run further and further, trying to keep me out of there. And I told Anthony, I said, no, man, I said, I'm going to work that hunt. I said, I'll get right beside him. I don't care. He's working, but I am too.
Yeah. Well, and you both had different bait. Sometimes you don't know what it's going to take.
Now, he was catching the snot out of them on drifting live shiners, but the current throughout the day they kept bumping the generation up and up and up, and it got to the point where neither one of us could stay in there and work that hump like we wanted to. So we both had to go downstream and work it. But, we figured that out. It was pretty cool.
No, Richard, I've never done any bumping. We don't have any current on Barron.
What's your nearest dam to you, Cody?
The one right there on Barron?
But they don't generate electricity?
No. Let's see here. If I can pull a picture up of the
Fishing for whiskers.
Good morning.
What river is Barron empty out into?
Barron River.
Okay.
Barron River Lake enters into it and empties out into it. Let's see.
Hey, good morning, Whisker Dream.
Let's do this.
What's the least amount of current you can bump?
I guess that depends on the size of the river you're in, but like for me,
your experience too.
Yeah, for me it was about 10,000 is bottom at Chickamauga.
Yeah,
put that in a mile per hour though.
I'd say 1 mile an hour.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. 1 mile an hour is, and then you're bumping about 1 ounce.
Yeah, 1 to 1.5 ounces at the most.
So, and that is very hard to do for most people.
Yeah, it's hard to fill 1.5 ounces to ounce.
You have to have a lot of experience to be able to bump that ounce and a half. All right, so you've got to. All right, this is what you got.
That's our dam. That's the tailwaters.
Huh? Wow.
10 yards wide.
Yeah, I'd say you could probably bump that. You get right up in the mouth.
Yeah. That's tiny. There's catfish there, believe it or not, though. I mean, until I started bumping, I never realized like that fish would be in that current, in that kind of current. That 50 that Anna caught during the kids tournament, dude, it was rocking up there. I mean, I really didn't think she'd be able to even get her bait on the bottom. The boat was rocking. They had 4 spill gates open and were generating from 4 turbines. And kind of as a Hail Mary, I said, all right, Lana, let's go up here and try to bump above the bridge. And I mean, to think the fish that size is sitting in that kind of current just blows your mind.
So Greenwell brings up a good point and a lot of experience shown right here. But you put a float on, you add resistance to what you're bumping with, and slow the boat way down. So Monday, Zach and I went out and we bumped, and we didn't have a whole lot of current. So I used a double hook rig, and I used 2 pieces of bait. So I had a hook, a Demon Dragon. I went up about 18 inches, and I had a dropper like I would on a Kentucky rig, and then another 18 inches up the line. So I had about 3.5 foot leader, but I had 2 pieces of bait and a Demon Dragon on it.
Wow!
Just to make sure there was enough pull.
Yeah.
And I was catching fire out of them. We was having a really good day.
Well, that's go ahead.
Yeah, we didn't catch any monsters, but for down here we had 2 fish right at 27 pounds and a couple. I think one right at 20 and some teeners, 18, 15, 13. So we had some decent fish for around here, and we had a blast.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about those new brutes is I'm able to use more weight in lower current because the size of the big brute Demon Dragons actually pulls that bait off the bottom more, and I get a better bottom feel using a heavier weight with a bigger. It's got more surface area and it's got more flotation. So I'm really, that's all I bump with now is the brutes.
Yep. Yeah. And if you want to get you some, demondragons.com, promo code 3+120.
There you go, Cody. It's your show.
Old Oak Outdoors is in here.
Yeah, Old Oak's right there. Good morning, Old Oak.
Good morning, Oak.
Let me ask them, Richard, is there too much current to bump?
No.
You just have to work harder.
You got to speed your boat up. You don't have to slow the boat down. A lot of people say, go down, take your boat down to half the speed of the current. Well, I can tell you from experience, bumping in Mississippi 5 mile an hour, it's hard to slow your boat down to 2 or 2.5.
Yeah. I bumped as high as 2.5. But the problem where I bump at is I can't, at that kind of flow, I can't go up above the railroad bridge because by the time my bait gets to the bottom, I'm already to the railroad bridge.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
just have to go downstream and do it.
Right. Yeah. You can't do exactly what you've always done. You'll have to change things up. Like right now, the Ohio, I didn't look today, but we went out yesterday for a little bit. I blew another wheel bearing on the trailer. It's 2 in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Dang.
I don't know what's going on.
Are they? You got plenty of grease in them? You ain't got a bad seal, do you?
Well, here's the thing. I checked all the bearings, but the week before the first one went out, I checked all the bearings, jacked the trailer up, wobbled all the tires. Everything was good. I greased every bearing. And the week later, a bearing goes out.
Wow.
And see, the thing is with the dual axle trailer, when a bearing goes out, you don't feel it or notice it right away because you've got the other axle helping, support things along. So I destroyed that hub.
Oh man.
So
dang it.
I ended up buying
in that situation, Roger, though, you could take that wheel off and run it with just one tire on the side to get you home, right? If you got a dual axle trailer.
You can, yeah.
And Matt from Want to Be Outdoors says, where I used to live in Central Arkansas, the dam I mainly fished around, they always were churning the water like White Rapids on and off. Surprisingly caught awesome fish when they do that. Yeah, and if you look at this picture, you'll see they've got these little walkways that go out right here over top of the dam walls, and people fish right off of there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've seen pictures of people that caught decent fish through there. It's not somewhere I'm going to go sit and fish.
Anytime they're stirring the water, it's going to stir at the bottom. The fish are going to be there to feed.
You know, it's a lot of riffraff with concrete poured over top of it right there, so they don't have to worry about erosion. And I mean, people love going down there to fish. I wish I could find the overhead view because some of the biggest and most I've seen. There's a cove that goes down right past the dam that cuts back as it makes an L turn towards the river. And I've seen shad in there so thick that you literally couldn't see water. I mean, it was just completely nothing but shads, all you could see. Called up in shad
on Tuesday. I always go catch some shad like I did like the week before. All this rain had the spillway just cranking, so when I throw my net, it would hit the bottom and the current would drag it and snag it up. I was busting braille lines and tore a hole in my net. I finally just gave up, went to the lake. We got up on the lake, man. We caught the fire out of some crappie and bluegill. Man, white bass. I was tearing up everything. I caught some big sawguy. What else I catch? Sawguy, channel cats.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet caught over 100 crappie.
Wow. Can y'all use crappie there for bait?
Not in Kentucky.
In Ohio, you can.
He's Ohio, yeah.
It has to meet the creel limits and size limits, but the Ohio River doesn't have a size limit.
Oh, okay.
And the spillway doesn't have a size limit, but the lake does. So in order for me to keep crappie off the lake to use for bait, they had to be 9 inches.
Yeah, see, same way here. There at the tailwaters, there's no size limit on crappie. Right. But on the main, it was 9. It was 9 inches up until a few years ago. They've changed it to 10 now. But there's no size limit at the tailwaters. You go over into the reservoir and it's 10 inches. Jaydog, when you going to try some bumping? I know you got a bumping rod.
As soon as Roger teaches me.
Yep. I actually rewound to the beginning of the show before I hopped on and heard, because we played phone tag yesterday. I tried to get a hold of Jaydog. We was talking about going fishing today. And I missed his call at 6 o'clock, which I never even knew until this morning. But looks like Jaydog is laid up still, so today's
I seen where Zach broke his Uncle Lou's bumping rod.
Yeah. He got hung up. Thing is, his didn't hit the boat. Like, like what happened to yours, just got bent around and snapped up against the boat. His didn't. We got hung up and we went past it, and he just had a hold of it and was trying to get the line to break or pop free. Because was hoping the sinker just pop off. Instead, that whole thing broke in half.
Dang.
And luckily, well, I guess it doesn't matter, but the rig broke and still had the swivel and everything on it, and so the tip didn't slide completely off. It got to the swivel and stopped, and he got both halves back in. But I mean, it still don't do any good.
Yeah, I got half of one here somewhere.
Maybe you and Zach can get together and make a whole one.
I have epoxied the rod back together before. I broke my favorite skipjack rod a couple of weeks ago. That broke my heart. My pin Battle 2. The thing I liked about it is it had an extra fast tip and a lot of backbone. And man, you could just crank him big skipjack in the boat with it.
Yeah,
it's hard to find a spinning rod with an extra fast tip.
I wish we had skipjack like they do.
Yeah, no kidding.
We're catching. I have never seen anything like I did Saturday at Watts Bar. That was just nuts. I mean, they were chasing shad out of the water. It looked like it was raining skipjack and some big old toads too.
Must be nice,
I could
huh,
stay
Roger?
there all day and fish for skipjack.
I've sat right there when them fish are acting like that, and they wouldn't hit
man.
anything.
Yeah. Well, we weren't just killing them. I think there was so much bait in the water that our spoons just, were being missed. I guess when you get that concentration of small shad in one spot, your spoon kind of gets lost in the mix. A lot of times I'll try to add a little bit of extra action to the spoon when I feel like a situation's like that, just so it looks like my shad is dying.
Yeah.
Because they'll pick off the weakest one.
Erratic action it'll trigger a bite. A lot of times they'll head swipe it, which I know you probably catch a lot of fish head swipe too.
So Bobcat, one of y'all can tell me if this would make a good skipjack rod. It was just on clearance the other day, so I bought it. But it is a 6'8" medium action rod, spinning rod, 2000 series reel. Is that?
I wouldn't like a medium action personally, because you got to get them fish in the boat. You almost have to boat flip them.
Yeah.
It's a bass rod. It's pretty stiff, even though it says medium action.
And you need some backbone.
I mean, I'm having to push pretty hard just to.
You can
waiting for that to break.
You can catch them on anything, but
yeah, you can.
For me, I like a little bit longer rod.
Casting distance.
I want casting distance. It depends on the current. See, when you're in a lot of current, Bobcat will tell you'll lose about 50% of the fish you hook.
Yep. So
the longer you cast and hook up, the farther you got to fight that fish to the boat, the longer he has an opportunity to get off. When I'm in a situation like Bobcat was in, when it's real heavy, I actually make pretty short casts because I want to get him in the boat quick.
Yeah. And a good fast reel helps too with a high gear ratio.
Yes.
Because the faster you got to keep up. I mean, you got to try to keep them from getting an opportunity to throw the hook. So you just kind of burning them into the boat because they've got real bony mouths and they're real good at throwing the hook. So when I hook up on one, I just start burning him to the boat. Yeah. I even try to skate him across the surface of the water if I can. And as soon as I get him close enough to the boat, I'll boat flip him in, because you don't want to dink around with them. And when they're hot, I mean, when they're on fire and they're really feeding, you probably only got about a window of an hour and a half maybe to get them or less. So you're trying to get as many of them in the boat as you can in that window that you have for them.
Yep. Yeah. So if you're making long casts and you're hooking one, it's taking forever to get it in the boat. That's less fish you're going to catch. So if you're able to throw, 50 feet and catch them and get them in the boat, I keep my rod tip down almost in the water because I don't want him to jump. So I keep my rod pointed down all the way to the boat. And as soon as I get him close enough to the boat, I pull him out of the water and flip him in. I try to make it to where he has no opportunity to jump. When they jump, they throw the hook.
That's right.
Well,
Almost every time, if they jump, they'll throw the hook.
I don't know if any of y'all have Myers around y'all though. And I bought this just for the boys to bluegill fish with, little ugly stick G2, $10 on clearance. $50 rod and reel. This one was $100 regular price, and I give $20 for it. So if nothing else, the kids will tear it up, and I'll be fine with it. But
another low cost
alternative.
When I was down at the beach, I found and they make them in different actions. I found a pin raft. It's not a very expensive combo for under $100, and I think that reel has got a 6.2 or 7.2 to 1 gear ratio or something. It's a black and blue rod and reel combination. I picked up one down at the beach for under $100. It's a pretty high speed reel.
I think I looked at those when I bought my last Penn surf rod. They had some Wrasse and they had some Pursuits, and then what was the name of the one I got? Fierce, I think.
Yeah.
So,
well, I can tell you that I was fishing down with Doc Lang on Wheeler Dam, and I snapped a rod and tip off. Actually, he did too. It's funny. It's crazy, but anyway, he loves using this rod from Academy Sports, and it's like $15 for this rod. It's a 7.5 foot. It's like a medium heavy. I don't remember what it says on it. It's just a pretty stiff rod, and it's $15, and that's just for the rod. But that thing it'll handle big skipjack like nothing.
You know, you look at that medium action, medium heavy. To me, that doesn't tell you that much, because like even that little rod there says medium action, and it's twice as hard to bend as like my medium action Uncle Lou.
So what you want to look at is your ounces. Look at the ounces rating on it, like what it's rated for. That'll tell you more.
And the action of it, the medium action, medium heavy, whatever, more talks about where the rod starts its bend at.
Right.
The parabolic bend. Usually a medium action rod will bend in the middle or closer to the reel. A faster action will bend closer to the tip. They also use that terminology for like the speed of a rod too, where it bends at, whether it bends closer to the tip or whatever. It's kind of confusing, really. Power and the speed.
Freddie said, been running around about 20 minutes now. Seems like it's running good, averaging 9.5.
That's good, buddy.
I don't know. Seems like it should be faster, though.
I agree with that. I think it should be faster. But if he's got it completely loaded down and he don't have tilt and trimmed where he can adjust that thing out, then
what's your kicker run your boat?
My kicker runs my boat 7 miles an hour.
And that's a 22-foot boat. And how big is yours? How big is your motor?
My kicker motor is 9.9.
Yeah. So it's got to be. I know your boat weighs way more than his boat does.
Oh, I guarantee it. Could the motor be too low? Oh, Green was asking.
It can. If it's sits too far in the water, it could not run right too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever it's running, you're only supposed to be like, what is it, 2 or 3 inches right below the surface level where your boat's going to plane out at.
Right.
The prop is supposed to be submerged 2 to 3 inches, I think it is.
There's a good possibility too with that old fiberglass boat. He may have waterlogged foam inside of that boat too, and that can add to the weight of the boat, causing it to get heavy.
He just redid all that.
Oh, did he take the foam out of it?
Yeah, he just redid all that stuff on it.
Well, that's because I think I've seen where wet foam can add like 800 pounds to a boat. That's ridiculous.
I took out 1,300 pounds of wet foam in my boat.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, my boat was sitting really low in the water. I was like, man, this is not good.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I
your
seen a
boat
video.
probably,
Somebody showed that they had wet foam, so I went out and pulled one of the boards up on my floor and checked it. And that's exactly what it was.
Spongy, soaking wet, huh?
Yeah, 22
your
foot
boat,
of
your boat
sponge.
probably weighs what, 3,200 pounds altogether?
I don't even know. I've never checked it out. I'm not
His
sure.
boat, I don't think his boat weighs any more than 1,300 pounds, maybe 14.
Chad says he's got 500 pounds of lights in there. It's going to be a little slow.
Yeah. See, Greenwell.
I tell you something else Freddie needs to pay attention to is he's got that stainless steel prop. And that's good, but it's also bad if you hit a lot of rocks. Because you'll bust your lower unit before you bust your prop.
Hey, Skip's got it in there. He said he sent Bobcat. He sent you the model number for that rod.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Because he did the same thing when Skip went down and fished with Doc. He bragged about that rod, so Skip bought him one, and he said he really liked it. No, I went down and broke my rod. I was like, all right, well, I need to buy a rod. So we don't have any Academy Sports in Ohio, so when we were down there, we got it.
That's at Penn Wrath. It's a 6.2 to 1 gear ratio. It's pretty fast. I mean, and yeah, I think I paid less than $100 for that combo.
I've got an old Mitchell 300X. It's fast.
Yeah, well, that's what I got too. You know, I got the same reel, and I love it, and I'm using it right now. What size reel is that?
We got 21 thumbs up. Everybody hit that thumbs up button.
I'm gonna go back and watch Freddie's video again and see how far that sits below his boat because it shows it. I bet that motor is way too long.
Skip will be able to answer this question. He has experimented with props more than anybody I know. He went from 3-blade to 4-blade to different pitches and everything like that. I run 3-blade stainless steel prop is what I run.
So it's completely dependent on your boat whether you'll get any benefit or if there's a downside to putting a 4-blade on one.
4-blades mainly for torque, ain't it?
It depends. There's a ton of literature if you'll Google and you can get the specs of like if it goes by draft and weight of your boat, I think mostly, and and then those numbers on there. What is it? How many feet you go for however many revolutions is what that pitch is supposed to mean, right?
I never knew. I don't even.
I thought the numbers on the prop was your degrees of your blade and your dimension of the prop.
Yeah.
That's pretty sure size and the pitch on the and usually the pitch is the only thing that changes.
So
per a certain given motor.
If it was me, I would take that stainless steel prop off there and put a smaller aluminum one on. Because with the stainless, when you hit a rock, your lower unit goes before your prop does.
Well, the hood should
stainless will bend up just as. Trust me.
They all should have a rubber hub inside of them, and your hub is supposed to absorb the shock if you hit it.
Spin, yeah.
I've spun a hub before. It ain't no fun. But it'll get you back to the boat ramp and not destroy your lower end in most cases.
Well, that depends, Art. Some are extremely simple and some of them are extremely hard.
Yeah. My Johnson, you got to take the lower unit off to change the water pump and stuff on it, which is a routine. For me, I think it's like 6 bolts, but there's one that's hidden underneath your trim tab.
Trim tab, yeah.
Yep, that most people miss. I think it was Skip was trying to change the water pump on his lower unit. He has a brand new Mercury, and he was doing it. He just thought it was hung up. He had all the bolts out that he could see, and he was trying to pry it apart and everything. And I got down there and looked, and I said, "Man, you guys still got a bolt in here."
That's funny.
Freddie, you don't want to drop it, Freddie. You want to raise it.
I took my lower unit off my Yamaha 15 times in one day. I become an expert on it.
Yeah, you don't want to drop your motor, Freddie. You want to low or raise it up.
Yeah, you want your motor just barely like with exactly what Cody said earlier. Once you get on plane, for me, I could barely see my daggone it.
Dolphin tail.
Yeah. Yeah, but even if you don't have those on there.
It's the cavitation plate.
Yeah, cavitation plate. Just barely below the surface of the water. You should be able to see it.
Yeah, when you're on plane.
Yeah, when you're on plane, you should be able to see your cavitation plate, meaning it's just about, just barely underwater.
Cody, see if you can pull up Freddie's video so we can see how far the motor sits below the boat.
All right. So here's
He
what I was
might have a long
about.
shaft motor on a short transom.
I think that's what he got.
So
he's gonna have to put a jack plate on it.
Here is we were both right. The numbers are pitch and diameter, but the pitch is telling you how far the prop would move forward in one rotation. If you were
Barillo said, "Tell me more about your Johnson."
I love my Johnson.
You got a big Johnson.
Yeah, so do I. I got big old Johnson, man. It's strong.
Yeah, but sometimes your Johnson don't work.
It works. Well, that's why I also have the little Johnson.
Out of his Johnson.
The little Johnson, you just got to pull on a little bit to get it going, but it's it don't have electric start. But you pull on it, it'll go.
His Johnson's hard to see now. It's all camouflage. He can hide it in a lot of places.
It does like to play hide and seek.
So
occasional peekaboo.
That's all you can ask from a Johnson, really.
He says it's barely underwater. That's good. So it doesn't sound like it's.
Yeah, it sounds like he's got the right situation.
Yeah.
Did you find it, Cody?
My 1648 John boat I had a long shaft Mariner on it in a short transom, and I had to build a jack plate. And once I built a jack plate, it stuck that about 6 inches above the transom. Boy, it really turned on then. It worked good.
Boy, look at that. Look at that video down there on the bottom right. Woo, look at that sexy fella.
Ooh, hot
this
dog.
one?
Yeah.
All right. We'll give it a minute or two to get some people in here.
Got fast forwarded a little ways.
Hey, don't tell me what to do.
I just did. This is my show, remember?
I'm sick of people coming in telling me what to do.
Well, there goes this channel.
Let's see.
Art says long shaft Johnson. Oh boy.
A couple seconds. See if anybody.
Good golly.
Yes, don't violate these two.
Look at that belly hanging out there.
Woo! Dad bod.
1 second. Let me, before I just play Freddie's video all over here without his permission, make sure he don't care.
A little too late now, ain't it?
Yeah, but I should ask him first.
You done broke the first rule of Fight Club.
Freddie, you care if we watch your video here together?
If he cared, it wouldn't be on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, he
wants everybody to watch it. Watch as many times as you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's costing. I mean,
one more view.
He probably don't want you talking about his belly hanging out.
Yeah, where's Johnson?
Yeah, keep it respectful. Jeez.
Yeah.
Long what did I say? Yeah, my motor, my tilt and trim all of a sudden quit working on mine. It'll click. I'll click it like 1,000 times, and 1 out of 1,000 times it'll start to work.
Sounds like a relay.
Well, I put a brand new relay in it, and it worked for a minute, and then went back to doing the same thing.
Probably you're still annoyed.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's hard to lift a 150 horse Johnson by yourself and pull it.
Yeah, that's a big Johnson.
They make pills that help you pick your Johnson up.
Yeah, well, I have a hard time getting it up by myself.
Well, you need to get some Jaydog on the boat with you.
Well, I was hoping to go fishing with Jaydog. He can help me get my Johnson up so we can go. But now his back's hurt, so I was gonna get the Johnson up myself and let him handle the.
Well, it might be why his back's hurting. He tried to help you lift your Johnson.
No, I gotta get it figured out quick because it's not fun. I'll probably go over here just a little bit when we're done here and go over and mess with it, see if I can't figure out what it is, or get on YouTube and start troubleshooting it.
Check your hydraulic fluid in there.
Well, if the hydraulic fluid was low, it'd still hum and pump, but it.
Teflon's in the shop right there. A little bit crappy Teflon.
Ain't we trying to see if this boat is in the water, or are we just looking at the water line?
Yep.
I don't think
trying to see how far the motor went below the boat, but you can't see it.
Well, that water line's old. You know what I mean? That could be, who knows what motor.
Yeah.
You got to see it now in the water.
Right.
But just looking at it, it looks like a 20. It doesn't look like a 25-inch shaft. It looks like a 20-inch shaft.
Is it cold out there, Freddie? I'm getting ready for nighttime. I see your headlights on.
He likes all them lights on all the time. So.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's terrible.
Johnson now.
Freddie's like Motel 6. He'll leave the lights on.
Yeah, there you go. There's your answer. Now, I had on my Mariner years ago, I had a coil pack or ignition pack or whatever. The CDI went bad on it, and I was only getting fire on one cylinder. And I didn't know it because back then I didn't know how to use a spark tester or anything. And I was getting pretty low performance, leaving it wide open throttle. So if he hasn't already, he might just check the spark on it. Make sure he's getting fire on both cylinders.
Yeah.
Mine was a bad CDI.
I just had to put a new coil pack and timer base on my boat last year.
So I should have left it up there and looked. Does that motor have the pin that you can change the natural trim on it? Because it's not a hydraulic trim, is it?
Yeah, it's got the pins where you can adjust it. He said he can only go down one more notch, which tells me he's got his motor way too low. And he's basically bulldozing through the water instead of trying to get up on it.
Yeah. My old Mariner that had a manual, the pin set trim, I finally got it to where it would work. I had it trimmed just perfectly, but because it was a flat bottom boat on a windy day, I dropped that pin down one notch, so I drive the bow a little deeper into the water, and that would make for a better ride, yet a slower ride. So on a normal day, I'd had the pin out one, so I had a good trim. But on a windy day, I'd trim that thing down one pin, and it'd ride better in waves. Because it was a flat bottom boat, it beat your brains out anyway.
Oh, why'd I do that?
Yeah, he's down the second from the last pin on that motor.
Yeah.
But without it sitting in the water, it looks like it's got a little bit of angle to it. It's not. It looks about right.
It's close to being, but is it? The thing is it ever getting up on plane? Because that 25 horse motor should plane out that boat, right?
Oh, yeah.
He just said he's only getting a quarter of the boat out of the water. You should only have a quarter of the boat in the water.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
If he's only running on one cylinder, it'll still run decent on one cylinder.
Check your spark plugs. Check your spark on both cylinders. Freddie, make sure you get the spark. Go buy a cheap spark tester or stick your finger on it and try to crank it.
Well, just unplug. While it's running on the hose, just unplug one. If it changes the idle, then that one's sparking, and then go to the next one. If you pull a plug and nothing changes, that's because that one wasn't working anyway.
That's right.
I mean, to me, that's my easiest way to check spark.
Yep, that's one way to do it.
If you drop to your knees, you know it's firing really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a motor one time that had a crack, the insulator, and I tried up there and touched that insulator and I had a crack in it. Let me tell you, I didn't hold on to it too long.
Yeah,
I don't know that I wouldn't drop that down to that bottom hole.
No.
All right, so if this is it. I mean, it's tilted back.
It looks that way in the picture.
Yeah, it could be totally different by the time it's sitting level in the water.
Right.
Is he out on the water now?
He was. Oh, I think he still is. He's saying the
He
boat
could
is
do it right now.
A quarter of the boat is out of the water when running, and that's not nearly enough to be on plane.
No.
You want at least 50% of the boat out of the water. If you can get up to 70% out of the water.
Yeah, Freddie, come up here and talk to us.
Top of the chat.
Yeah, the link's at the top, pinned at the top.
Yeah,
he could check it right now if he's in the water. Just do like Roger said, unplug one spark plug at a time and see if it dies.
Come up here and talk to us, Freddie.
I can drop the link again, but I thought I had it pinned.
I could tell you, I traced the problem on my old Johnson on my pontoon down, and it ended up being a tiny pinhole in the fuel line that was sucking air.
Oh, wow.
And I could never find it. I finally just switched it out because I noticed it was a little bit wet, and I switched out the fuel line, and boom, it was completely solved.
Yep.
Never run those plastic lines from Walmart.
Yeah, I replaced all of them with the high quality fuel line. Without that crap.
I'll tell you another problem that the Walmart lines have is they have an inside liner.
Yeah, that's when it goes bad.
When you put the new fitting on, that liner will roll up in a ball, and you put your fitting on, and it blocks the fuel off, and you can't get none through, and you don't know it.
Freddie knows he's welcome up here anytime he wants.
Go to a marine supply store and get you some real fuel line.
I've always try to always pin the link for anybody that wants to come up. Everybody's welcome, except Chris Lee. Let's remove him.
Another thing too is a real fuel line. It's got that. It's usually fiber reinforced, and it won't kink up like them cheap blue plastic, gray plastic hoses will. So if you ever get your fuel line in a bind for some reason, they'll hold up. They won't kink up as bad.
Jody, my Jody. Why ain't you got notifications on, Jody?
Since Freddie's out there now, why don't he just start moving that pin into those different holes and take a run and see if he can get it up on plane better?
I don't think he's on the water anymore.
I thought he was still out there.
Yeah, that would be the best idea right there. If he can get it up, and you don't have to put it up on the trailer. I mean, you kind of got to beach it and then walk. You got to get in the water and go back there to do it. But you can get wet.
I could do mine from the back of the boat. Let's hang off the transom and do it.
I'm not that flexible. I'll be in the water.
Just don't drop the pin.
Yeah, but if you're in that water and you get shocked, it's going to hurt even more.
I don't think Freddie has changed anything on that boat at all. Going from that 5-horse to the 25, he should be going faster than 9 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, he only gained 3 or 4 miles an hour.
Somebody time Jody out.
What's she say?
I can't. I'm not a moderator.
That's because you blocked me.
I didn't block you. I blocked your Filipino connection.
Checker just
profile.
Am I the reason it's better, Jody?
And getting enough pressure, they dry rot. Yeah. And then Mike says, bring up Uncle Lou. I bet he knows what the deal is. He got more experience.
Hey, good morning, Uncle Lou.
Uncle Lou don't know nothing.
The only thing Uncle Lou knows is stick and move.
Yeah, stick and move. That's it. Because that's what he do.
That's the best strategy.
Oh, Roger timed her out. I was just joking.
That's what I'm talking about. Get her.
That's some payback right there, probably.
Don't
Yeah,
come in this. Don't come in this morning show like that.
I owe her a couple.
All right. Anyway, I got to get back to work. So, but if Freddie, if you're still out there on the water, try moving that pin around. See if you can get any more speed out of it. That's what I'd do. And then you could probably also, like Roger said, pull plug wire. Make sure both cylinders are running right.
I bet
Those
he's
are the
only
two
running on.
easiest things you can do.
So you just gonna come up, smart mouth this and leave, huh?
Pretty much. I mean, I'm
Stick and
at
move.
work. You know, I'm
Stick and
supposed to
move.
be in
Stick and
there.
move.
Yeah, I got to stick and move. Bye.
This fish ranch.
Hey, Matt, I don't understand your question. Maybe I'm not reading it properly, but have I ever tried pulling a motor up and end up going in the water? Oh,
Like leaning over your boat.
No, I know better. My balance isn't good standing up on a good flat surface.
During the kids tournament, Anna got her line wrapped up in the prop on my Yamaha, and I had to. Of course, I turned the camera off so nobody'd see me fall in the water. I had to climb out on the motor and unwrap the braids from around the prop. It was funny.
Oh,
I was like, Lord, I hope I don't fall in this current.
All right, Uncle
Luckily,
Lou.
I've taught Anna how to run the boat.
That's important, man. Everybody says it, but you take somebody on the boat, you should at least give them a crash course on how your boat,
Sure.
how to operate your boat in case you go in.
Just like Brady did on the last year tournament over the weekend. He was able to run the boat while his dad tried to get that line loose. I think that's important.
I was really proud that Brady, well, the credit goes to Brian for teaching him, but awesome. That shows a lot of trust too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's really good. That's really good for Brady's development, knowing that his dad trusts him.
Yeah, that's like Mason. I'll put him up in the boat. I'll back it in and I'll start it. And then once I start it, I'll unhook it and then I'll back him on into the water. And then he'll loop around and then pull it up on the bank while I put the trailer up.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, he'll be sitting there on the bank waiting for me.
That's really good. I love
it's really
that.
scary trusting an 8-year-old, 9-year-old now to do that. But,
Well, it makes him feel good too. It gives him confidence.
If something does happen and he can't figure it out and he goes floating down the river, I'm kind of screwed. But
or if it dies and he can't get it started.
Right. Well, he's been around motors and stuff his whole life, so he pretty much kind of got the gist on what to do.
He knows how to throw the anchor out if things ever get rocky.
Right. That's just like the kids tournament last year, whenever it was. I mean, he did everything. He picked the bait, where we went, his poles.
I remember. That was awesome.
That's something. Go ahead, Cody.
Oh, I was just going to tell Uncle Lou. He was asking what we were talking about with the boat. Freddie put the 25 horse on his boat over the 9.9.
The 5 horse or 7, one of the two.
What do you think the top speed on his boat should be with that 25 horse now? Without us telling you, just so we can get an unbiased opinion.
And that's something that nobody could ever take away from Jody, is she does all that herself out there, which is pretty cool if you ask me.
Go ahead, Bobcat. I cut you off.
That's something I was going to talk about. I never throw anchor. I don't anchor fish that much, but I never throw anchor. I hardly ever anchor up anymore whatsoever. But I'll never take my anchor off my deck because you never know when you're going to need it. Anchor's not only to hold you in place, it's a safety feature too.
That's the first thing you do. If you're ever in trouble, drop anchor and deal with whatever happens. Yep.
Yeah.
I've considered taking it off the deck to make more room, but I'm like, that's stupid. I'm not going to do that.
Look, Roger's texting Jody. I'm sorry.
No, I was responding to.
You're texting Jody. I'm sorry. I didn't really mean to time you out. It was peer pressure.
Dufour. He was texting and checking on me. And I'm looking at something. So there's a benefit tournament coming up in Tennessee next month. It's actually for Paula Smith, and Paula has asked me to come down and be her partner in her own benefit tournament, and so Zach and I were working on details on going. We were going to go down to. We're going down Tennessee anyway. I think the second week of October. But
there's your answer, Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It has to do more than 9. There's got to be something wrong.
Yeah.
If a 9.9 can get Rogers up faster than that, I mean, his boat don't weigh a quarter what Rogers does.
Well, Uncle Lou, he's getting 9.5 mile an hour average, and it's what boat he's in. It's Lee Evans' old boat.
Yeah, but here's the thing about that boat people ain't paying attention to. It is fiberglass, but it's gutted.
Yeah. My bet's on the dead cylinder. Something you got not getting spark on the cylinder, or a fuel issue.
Did he start the motor in that video?
Yeah, he did it. No, but when he was there, they ran it on musk, which is where you was going at earlier. They all run good on musk, but not under pressure.
Yeah. I mean, in an outboard motor, a 2-cylinder outboard motor will run idle just fine on 1 cylinder. You'll never know it.
Yeah, it'll sit there and rev all day long in a barrel.
Yeah.
Big Mike.
What's up, Big Mike?
Yeah, that's where people fool you, is when they're running them on muffs and they're revving them up and they're running good. And
yep, that's what happened with my Mariner when I bought it, because I made the guy run it on muffs, and I thought, well, it runs good, starts real easy. And then I got it on the boat, took it out in the water, and I was only getting about 10 miles an hour on a 1648 flat bottom John boat. And I was like, something ain't right. Wide open throttle, it wouldn't even get on plane. And that's when I found out it had a bad CDI box. Actually, I put 2 CDI boxes on that boat. For some reason, that year a Mariner would burn them up.
Paul Edmiston, how's it going?
Hey, good morning, Paul. Paul's local for me down here. He fishes Rocky Fork and Paint Creek and stuff. He actually helped me did some work on my motor for me last year. Did some welding.
He worked on your Big Johnson?
He put his hands on it.
Big Mike said he's out running the dozer this morning. Miss Jody, I made you a moderator so Muskrat couldn't abuse his power.
why wasn't she a moderator to start with?
Well, she wasn't even subscribed. Didn't even have the bell on or nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's LG Bass.
Yeah,
I feel bad, Jody. He made me a moderator either.
Got Tom in the house.
Good morning, Tom.
Tom's going to be on the bait shop tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
Did you say the bait shop?
I seen a thumbnail where Tom was going to be.
Never heard of it.
Is it the bait shop he's going to be on tonight?
It's a bait shop, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so. See, everybody be sure to check that out. We're all missing Docktails, Tom, so anytime you want to bring it back.
He said, I'm a bad mamma jamma now. Sorry for anybody that ain't.
I was going to put the little shark emojis on there for her, but actually somebody beat me to timing her out, but I won't call them out. I'll take all the heat.
I hope it was Brian.
I won't throw their name out there.
Do it. Don't be scared.
I can leave the target on my back.
You got big shoulders. You can carry it.
I don't think I can carry anything right now, to be honest.
Ooh, I'm going to throw him under the bus here.
Yeah, back issues too. Roger.
Look here. Jody, I'm telling on him. He says it wasn't him first, but Muskrat was first, and then it was Want to Be Outdoors.
Oh, Matt did it. Wow.
Muskrat was definitely first.
put it in your change it to live chat or whatever it is, and put it in chronological order, because
That's what it's in chronological order. Right there,
Wow.
Muskrat. He even hit it twice. He wanted to really make sure he did it.
He wanted to drive it home.
He hit it 3 times on you, Jody. 3 times.
3 times.
Ooh, threw him under the bus.
Ran over and backed up and ran over him again.
Hey, look here. That'd be the last time you run my buddy Jaydog off the Licking River.
That's right. I wish Freddie come up here so we can talk to him about that boat.
Well, hey, let's focus on my tilt and trim. Let's see if we can figure it out.
All right, we'll go out to your boat.
You broke it.
My boat's not here.
She said Roger owed me.
My guess is going to be your solenoid. That's what the clicking is.
The tilt and trim solenoid.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't even know where that is.
It'd be under the hood, probably.
The clicking is coming from the relay.
Well, that's because your relay's working, but your solenoid probably ain't kicking in.
Right. Yeah, because the solenoid is just a high voltage on-off switch. It either connects or not connects.
It works like points in an old car motor.
Right. Yeah, Brian says hit it with the hammer. That's what he did earlier, and it worked. That
Well,
might
I
fix
got
it.
this for a second. I need to feed the dogs.
All right.
Hey, you have a talk show. You don't have time for dogs.
I told you we was going to lie for an hour when you asked.
Well, ain't you watch talk shows in the morning? You know that don't ever last only an hour.
It takes 2 minutes to feed the dogs. Hush.
Yeah, he could poop in less time.
No, he can't.
No, he can't.
Last time he pooped on camera took him 45 minutes.
No, I must have seen the one time he was quick about it then, because
We're not going to talk about me passing fecal matter into the toilet. So
This is a chat. We talk about whatever we need to talk about.
yeah, we all poop.
Did you have corn though? That's all I want to know.
Oh, here we go.
How'd I know that was coming?
I did have corn last night. How'd you know?
No matter how much you chew it up, it still comes out whole.
Look at that
Ain't
picture
that
right there,
amazing?
Roger. Who's that remind you of? Look at he left.
Oh, I seen it. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, don't he look just like him?
Yeah.
I'm glad he don't act like him now.
Oh, who you talking about?
Kind of scares me being friends with him. You never know if he's going to turn out like that.
Well, we all go through stuff at some point in time.
She said, I thought Cody looked constipated.
Full of crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to head over here in a little bit and check it out, because I want to do some fishing. And actually, with the river flowing the way it is right now, I want to do some bumping.
Mine came up super fast last night when I was out there.
Yeah, you must have got my water.
I mean, I went from a lake to a rushing river.
Wow.
Yep.
But I looked at the Meldal pool thing, and it shows it spiking and just going straight back down.
Yeah, we went from Monday at 14 foot to Wednesday 19 foot. So went up 5 feet in 2 days.
Look at Meldal.
Meldal.
It came up. It posted to go up and straight back down, it said.
That messes the fish up. That's what happens here. Now, if they go up and stay up for a couple days, that'd be all right.
Run them up into the creek.
Yeah.
So if you don't have creeks for them to run into, then what?
The river
Yeah,
bank.
you went well, actually, you went from Sunday 13 feet, same difference. You went up to 18 feet by looks like
Wednesday.
yesterday evening. Yeah, it was climbing pretty good Wednesday, but about 9 p.m. it hit 18 and a half feet. Yours went up about 5 feet, 5.5 feet in 1, 2, 3, 4 days. Ours went up 5 feet in 2 days.
All right.
That's how it is.
I'm gonna start fishing the upper side because it don't flood even a quarter of what the bottom does.
Well, it's kind of like the pools here. The upper pool of Greenup, they keep it within inches. It's 12.5 feet like all year. They don't care. It has to stay that level because they've got so much, they've got so much property on the river that they can't let it get out of control. It causes major problems.
Right.
So they do what they have to do to this pool to keep that pool in check. If that means open up the gates and let her rip, then that's what they'll do. If we have to, so.
Yeah, because I could be in my parking lot and my river running wide open and just go 2 miles up to the top of the dam, and it's just like a lake up there.
Hang on. The dates for the Paul Smith tournament, she was inaccurate. I just went and looked at it. So it turns out her tournament's going to fall on the weekend of the kids tournament, and I'm not going to change or cancel the kids tournament. So I will not be able to participate in fishing with Paul Smith because of the day.
I'll fish with her.
She wanted a good fisherman. That's why she called Roger, not you.
What?
Roger couldn't even beat you. You don't catch anything.
I never said I was any good.
And he
Well,
couldn't
you
even
won't
beat
hurt me
you.
like that, J Puppy.
I couldn't beat you yesterday. Well, by the time I put the hub on and fixed everything on the trailer, by the time I was done, I was like, it was just nice outside, man. It had a nice cool breeze. I was like, you know what? I'm going to put this thing in the water. So we put the boat in the water about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And I don't know, we fished a good bit. We caught like one decent blue, like 12-pound blue and a couple channel cats. That was it. I tried anchoring, suspending, and we suspend drifted quite a bit. Janice was with me yesterday, so I wasn't able to do any bumping. Well, I could have, but I just didn't.
Jaydog, you know I love you.
She wanted to look good. That's why she asked Roger. That's it. And make her look a lot better.
Me and Roger have been talking about a 1v1, but it's never come to anything.
So
we're both in the same situation. We're so it is a situation.
Yeah.
Our river is pissy.
These 1v1s have kind of gotten, I think
they've got personal instead of having fun.
No, that's not what I'm saying. If you'd shut up and let me finish my sentence. All right.
You want me to leave so you can take this over by yourself? I'll go back to chat where I like it.
I'm sorry, Jaydog.
This is all your idea. I never want to do this stuff.
I know. I beg you. No, but y'all have the opportunity to do it the way I think's most interesting, and that's fish the same water.
But we don't fish the same water.
Yeah, but y'all are close enough to each other. Y'all could meet at some water that is the same. Or am I wrong?
Yeah. I mean, he'd come down here and fish with me.
If anybody's looking for a bumping reel, PC Funds has got their Alios on sale for $74.99. You can probably use a discount code and get it even cheaper. They got a bunch of reels on sale.
Man, I wish he was facing me so I could take a screenshot of that and make him sing. I could probably still do it.
There he is. You was froze.
So why am I solo?
Because we was trying to get a screenshot.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm on solo.
Great. I can't wait for that.
But do you not agree that the 1v1s a lot of times are just completely based on waterways, and that I wish we could see more of them? Like it'd be awesome if we seen Bobcat and Daryl do one. If you and Chad did one, because you and Chad.
Yeah.
Where's my brother?
That's why I like, with me, Chad and Jaydog, playing with each other on the river, or when Josh had the Ohio pool party, that was all Ohio River. So it was, who can now. there's a difference in the pools, but it's still the same river. So you pretty much got the same opportunity. Whereas going up against, if I try to challenge Bobcat, that's just now if I go challenge Bobcat and I go on Bobcat's waters, it'd be different.
Right. And then Bob, I just think it's I don't know, more interesting. It's a new facet to it. If you can do it where you're fishing the same waters and you're actually seeing how things stack up that day, and then of course, then you're going to have the advantage go to who's fished there more often. But all the same, I just think it's a good idea.
It's fair that way. I mean,
Yeah.
look, we tied. Everybody had fun. We tied.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at Creole and Jody, and she got beat by 900,000 pounds. I mean, where's the fun in that?
But if you're going to be stupid enough to call somebody out that's fishing better waters than you, then you should take what you get. I mean,
I'll call you out. I ain't scared of you.
Call me out.
Let's go. Let's rock. Let's let her rip, Tater Chip.
I'm not saying that it's not still fun, but I think it would be more fun if we seen some of people on the same waterway. Like, right. I think one between Bobcat and Daryl would be extremely fun.
I don't call people out. I don't call people out because I think I'm better. I want to have fun and fish with them. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to fish with Roger. I know, and I'll say it in public, I could care less. I know he's a lot better than I am. But me and Roger have fun, and we'll have fun, and people enjoy watching it. Bobcat's better than me, but I don't care. I'll still fish him because it's fun.
He might be better at fishing than me, but at least I ain't 2 foot tall.
That's right.
When you're fat, everybody makes fun of you for being fat. Then you lose weight, and everybody makes fun of you for being short. Now, if I grew, they make fun of me for being bald too. I mean, what do? You can't win.
No,
it's a tough crowd, Bob. It's a tough crowd.
You just can't win, man.
Can't win for losing.
Yeah, I don't. When I say I fish against people, I just want to do it for the fun of it.
Yeah, people don't need to take it personal.
We have fun razzing each other, but truth be known, I was looking forward to coming down and fishing with Jaydog today, and whether we took his boat or mine, I think was the only thing left up in the air. And of course, both of us are going through some health issues right now. He's got a bad back, and I've got some major stuff going on. But
I could go fishing, but I just take a chance to hurt myself like I did yesterday, and it ain't worth it.
I bring my boat down. We don't have to throw anchor or nothing. We just spot lock.
Right. Will you read chat so I ain't got to stand there and do it? Will you not leave me alone like Cody did?
Oh my God!
He always said, "Go live, Jaydog. I'll do the comments," and then he just leaves me, knowing that I'm hurting and I got to stand there. I hurt so bad when I got home, I went to bed.
That's awful. He's awful.
That is the tough part of being live. A lot of us that fish live know that standing in front of the camera and reading chat and staying interactive, you get pretty tired after a while. Now, I think I've got 2 phones right now to where I could set one camera up facing the rods, and I can set the other camera up facing me like what Stan Smith does, or just put it on the rods and have the other phone in my lap where I can read chat. I can still talk to the camera. Nobody wants to see my face anyway. They want to see the rods.
It's near impossible to bump and read chat too. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, if you don't have somebody talking for you.
Well, I did, but
Miss Jody said she's about ready to take the bus driver back on.
You better practice for 5 more years before you try that.
She's getting pretty confident. She's starting to learn the number game, and she's got the big fish game. She catches big fish in her sleep. I mean, hell, she'd fall asleep and wake up 40-pounder on the line.
That's called the water. That's the water.
I was going to say, the water will give you so much, but at a certain point, you still have to be at the right place at the right time, and your knowledge, skill, and experience will do that.
I got news for you. If I fell asleep, the only thing I'd wake up with was a barge on top of me.
Yeah.
And Art said, "I love you just the way you are, Bob.
Thanks, Art. Appreciate
Short,
that.
fat, and bald."
A little underhanded compliment. Jody says that's a good spot. Well, however you found that spot is part of being an angler. Maybe it was luck. I don't know. I don't know what the spot is. Maybe somebody told you about it, or maybe you saw it on Navionics, or however you come about it.
Did she play a Daryl and have a guide take her out 3 times?
Oh man, I'm not going there.
Get Darrow tore up.
I
Darrow
had
ain't
him.
even in here.
I had him tore up like
he didn't even stop in on. He didn't even stop in this weekend on the So You Think You Can Fish tournament.
Nah, he had a family. His wife's mom, I think, passed away this weekend, so they were
Okay,
sitting
I was
with
gonna
her.
say I noticed he was missing.
Hey,
Yeah,
if I tell you guys
there, he was out of.
if I give you guys an idea, you tell me what you think about it. I know there ain't a lot of people that does it, but what about a little fishing thing called the Battle of the Tunes? And everybody in the family have pontoons, battle it out.
There you go. That's
There's
a good idea.
How many of y'all fish off pontoons?
Well, I got me, Jody, Van, John Oyler,
Yeah.
Saskatchewan Stan. Just call it the Battle of the Tunes.
Tune time.
Looney Tunes.
There you go.
And Uncle Lou said Jaydog leaves me in the basement for hours.
Well, I was trying to build his confidence up. I didn't want to just throw him right in there for his first time. So, let him settle down, let his nerves get calmed down, and
Don R fishes off a pontoon.
Don R.
There you go.
Yeah.
And Jody said, "I found it by listening to everyone's advice on bends and ledges."
See, and that's the important part. People could be told or watch and hear and listen to everything, but if you don't take that information and put it to work, then it is a waste of time. That's frustrating. Like folks will reach out and ask you all these questions, and you give them the answers, and then they just throw it out. Just throw it out the window. Like, well, why'd you ask me if you didn't care?
Got another one interested.
Oh yeah, Paul Edmiston. They fish pontoon as well.
Yeah. I mean, not a competition, but just kind of like a fun battle of the tune type thing.
So here, I pulled up my spreadsheet here from this last weekend's So You Think You Can Fish day 1 of the tournament, and I'll share the result. I don't think can I share screen? I can too.
Oh, and Big Bill, Chad's buddy's got a pontoon.
So right there's are you able to zoom in any on that?
I'm not able to zoom in. You'll have to zoom in on what you're sharing.
And ask permission next time.
Sorry, Jaydog. Sorry.
There you go. So Catfish Bandit, they were able to put what the far, man.
I was making it full screen on it.
Oh, I got you. They were able to catch. They had one fish caught in the boat, man. They had another nice fish that got hung up in a log. It was a long traumatic event, but it ended up breaking off at the end. Bobcat and Anthony with Yak Shore. They got 3 fish, 44.7, a 6.6, and a 49.1. Gave him a total of 100.4 pounds at day 1.
Amazing, we only caught 3 fish. That's it.
Yeah, I know. Elgato and them, they caught plenty of fish. They were in a lot of small fish. They didn't weigh them all, but after a total, their top 3 fish, their total day 1 is 21.8 pounds. Snake River, I got to give it to Sean at Snake River, man. That guy went out and bought a canoe for this tournament.
Wow.
I mean, I think he was kind of wanting one anyway, but he bought a canoe, went to somewhere he's never been. He's 3 hours, he was 3 hours behind our time start. So we started at 7 a.m., which means he was at 4 a.m. he was on the water at like 3 a.m. Just getting set up. But man, what an effort he put in. And he caught started out with a small flatty at 2.3. He caught another hit. This is his PB flathead now, is 25.11 pounds. He caught a little rinky dink at 0.2, a 4.3, and a 7.9. So day one, he ended up with 37.31 pounds. Now on this graph, it doesn't show Freddie catching a lot, but I'm telling you, Freddie and Trey caught a ton of fish. They were just very, very small. So they did a great job finding fish. They just weren't the quality fish that they needed to win this thing. But they caught, I don't know how many catfish they caught. I think there was 14 or 15 catfish, and they were just small. And I think they caught like somewhere around 40 or plus shell cracker while they were fishing. And so they were mixing it up. They moved around trying to look for big fish, but just didn't happen for them. Their total after 3 fish is only 5.54 pounds. So, but hats off to those guys for finding fish where they thought they would be. They were there, and they just weren't the size they needed them to be. So there's our leaders. I think I'm going to change this tournament from so you think you can fish to so you think you can make it.
Yeah.
So stand 2 and 3, they didn't fish that day, did they?
No, they didn't show up. I don't know. He said he sent me a message, but I never got a message. So I'm not sure.
They were scared
of
me,
there.
I'll tell you that.
All
They
right.
don't want to fish me before that Battle of the Rivers tournament. That's what it
I
is.
got disqualified for being old and decrepit.
Yeah. Told him to stay home.
So Jaydog's not in the Battle of the Rivers?
Anybody that still wants in can still fish the other 2 days. Obviously, they're at a disadvantage not having weight to put in. But if Jaydog decides he still wants to get in and fish the next 2 days, he's still in the tournament. Anybody that didn't make it can still get in.
Oh, I was talking about the Battle of the Rivers, though.
Oh, Battle of the Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I started to get to that earlier. I think it's going to be my best interest to stick with the guys that know how to live fish, and stick with the core group of folks that we have here, which would be Jaydog, Chad, River Warriors, and Mike Greenwell.
So what he said is he couldn't find any professionals, so he came back to the losers.
No, I've got guys that are good and guys that I think could possibly win it for us, but I don't have faith in the fact that they will be able to show up live and fish live and do what needs to be done for a live fishing tournament. My wild card and will still probably be Ryan Bortz if I can talk him into try it. He doesn't believe that the river will be at an acceptable level for him to get in with a kayak to fish the falls where he likes to go. And looking at historical data, I think that the water level will be fine. Ryan Bortz would be one to throw in the mix as well.
So Cincinnati Cat, hey, how's it going? Says Swamp Donkey's got a pontoon as well. And then Art says, I enjoy seeing channels fish with each other, just split screen minus the tournament.
Well, I mean, it could be that too. I mean, it don't have to be a tournament. It could just be, I just want to call it Battle of the Tunes, just have nothing but pontoons for the fun of it.
Tune time.
Time. Yeah, we call it tune time. And if you got a pontoon, come up.
Hey, Matt says tune it up tournament.
Yeah.
Tune it up.
That's pretty good.
And Jody said, I don't understand what you mean, roll the net. It's too late to figure it out with a 40-pound cat in the net.
I'm lost.
I don't know.
Because I keep telling her to roll her net over one time. Basically, fold it over. So if you're hanging on to the net and she puts the weight on it, she's trying to hold it clean up here and weigh a fish. Well, that's to get it off the floor. If you take that net and roll it over once and then grab the net, now the fish is cradled, midway instead of all that net hanging. You just you take your frame of your net and you flip it over once, and now that brings it up to where now you can hold the fish here, and it's not all hanging clear to the floor.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, weighing the fish in the sling is so much easier. Man, I love my sling.
Yeah,
I'll
if you
never
got
weigh
a sling,
a fish in the net again.
That's the preferred way. A sling is a lot better on the fish.
Did Paul just say he's a slinger?
What?
I'm a slinger.
He's a slinger.
I'm a slinger now.
And Matt said Sean's a great fisherman. He catches everything. Yeah, and some of those sturgeon he catches are just absolute dinosaurs. I mean,
they're huge.
Well, after the tournament, so he drove down there on the bank and got his car stuck because it was dark. Got stuck in the mud. When it was over, he finally got the car out of the mud, and he saw a big sturgeon surface the water. He went and loaded back up, went back out on the water to chase that sturgeon.
Awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
He didn't send me any pictures of catching it, so I'm guessing he didn't. But that dude's a warrior, man.
He's caught way bigger sturgeons than a certain other person, and nobody talks about his.
He catches them pretty consistently too.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that's his target species. The
other one get the credit he deserves.
He says
I like to see a sturgeon and a flathead in a fight.
Jody said, "Show me."
Show me, but I don't have a net here.
And then Matt says, one of these days when I grow up and get a running vehicle, I'm going to put Arkansas River on the tournament map. Art said, I got a bank.
I'll go get my net and show Jody what you're talking about.
All right. Thank you about that.
Uncle Lou said East Liner makes weight slings.
Yeah, there's RS Nets is making slings as well too. So I'm wanting to buy an RS net here before too long. And
so here's what y'all do. Y'all just apologize because y'all kept saying, no, don't lower it. Don't lower it. And he lowered it and it got speed.
That don't make no sense.
Well,
to
me it does.
Y'all told me I was wrong a while ago.
The lower the motor goes, the farther you're pushing the front of the nose in the water.
But you've got to lift that nose for it to get up on plane. That's why you can trim it up after you get up on plane. You've got to get up there first. And if he's running on low horsepower, he's probably he needed that extra help to get it up there.
See, my tilt and trim's so weak that once I get on plane, I can't adjust nothing. It's bottomed out. So my boat's running 38 mile an hour, bottomed out. I have never been able to trim it. It's always been too weak. I don't know if I need to rebuild the seals and the trim or tilt and trim, or just go find another one. Because
is it a tri-hole? Is his a tri-hole? I know a lot of those old bass boats were.
Yeah.
Might be.
Tri-holes are rough on the water too when you get them up at very high speed.
I still say he's going to find out that he's down a cylinder.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's a tri-hole.
You got something you could put in that net to kind of give it some weight?
He brought his fire extinguisher.
Oh.
Yeah, that's about as big as she catches, so you're accurate.
About 30-pound fire extinguisher feels like it anyway. You want me to leave the handle on or take it off?
It doesn't matter. Take it off would probably be easier. You don't end up knocking stuff over.
That's a 3-foot long net.
I don't know what it is.
I didn't know it was going to require tools.
I got short thumbs, man.
Well, he's got that sling, so he doesn't have to.
Yeah, I don't do this. The sling is the way to go. Put this fire.
Pay attention, Jody.
She probably taking her nap.
Yeah, she probably napping again.
This is what I'm talking about. I keep telling her this.
Grabbing the mesh and doubling over like that.
No.
How are you talking about doing it then?
No.
He's talking about rolling the hoop of the net into the mesh. So
lift it up.
Oh, crap.
Wrong way. All right, now grab one side of the net
Mm-hmm.
All right, now flip it up. Yep, there you go.
There you go.
That is it right there. Just flip that net over.
26
That's
pounds.
pretty good
And now-
idea.
13 pounds.
That's what he said, 13.
What's
it
it
sounded
weigh?
like 30, but he meant 13.
Oh, did he say what it
18.9.
weighed? I just guessed. How much?
18.9.
18.
All right. Do it one more time for Jody so she gets good.
Okay, fish is in the net.
Fish is in the net.
The bottom of the net.
All right, so
Then
you're
flip
holding it
it
up
like
right there. Now,
this.
normally you're trying to weigh it up there where his hand's at, which
Yeah,
is
like
putting it
this.
way up. Yeah. But now if you grab the bottom of the net and flip it over, which is rolling it, you rolled it over one time. Now you can
There you
hold
go.
the fish here and it's off the floor.
Yeah, you're kind of just folding it like a burrito, like you're making yourself a burrito.
Yeah.
You got the fish in the net. Normally you weigh it like that, and Rogers reach through the net and flip it like that.
Yep.
And now you got a much more compact area to hook to.
Now, obviously, if you got a fish just too big and taking up all that net and you can't roll it, then that's not going to work. But for the majority of the fish, I think, depending on your net, obviously, if you got a big, deep net,
Got something bigger to put in there.
You could put a pretty big fish in there and still roll it over once.
Yeah, I can put Oreo in there. No, you don't want to be in the net, do you, girl?
I see it. I want to watch it.
Put my dog in the net. No, I'm not putting my dog in the net.
Jody said
she's got it now. Thank you, Bobcat.
And then Freddie says he's going to check the plugs and spark when he gets home, but it doesn't sound like it's missing. It's purring at idle.
Yeah, that's.
Well, they will purr on one cylinder.
Yeah.
I mean, they can. You check the spark for sure.
Now, myself, I never ever hook my scale to the net like you originally started to. That's just too much pressure on those. You'll pop those. You'll just put holes in your net.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's just how I do things. I never hook that net.
I see people do that.
Expensive.
Yeah, I've seen people do it too, and I kind of cringe. I'm like, that's a lot of stress on them little, those little strands.
The sling, the net, if you got a small boat like I do, the net catches everything in the boat. So that's why I like the sling. It don't get caught up when you're trying to wrestle a wriggling fish that's jumping around and acting all ugly. And so I really like the sling for take the fish out of the net, put the net away, and then weigh the fish in the sling.
That's one of the things I like most about my Smackdown rod holders. The Smackdown, the other rod holders, like monster rod holders, your rod's sitting here like this. The Smackdown, those are pointed down, so where it's smooth on top, and your net doesn't hang up on that stuff.
Look at there, Ricky.
I mean, I've got it hung on the bottom side too, every now and then, but
Ricky's talking smack to you, Roger.
What's that, brother?
Ricky's talking smack to you.
Where? Yeah, he's right. I could put all my fish in the net for the day and still roll it.
No, nobody's in the basement, Brian B. But also, I don't like weighing my fish from the net for the reason you said that it could possibly tear it. But also, I feel like you're not going to get an accurate weight
because it has stretch.
That net stretches.
Yeah, it makes it really hard to lock in.
If I'm weighing a fish, I'm weighing it because I want an accurate weight. If I didn't care, I wouldn't be putting it on scales. I'll guess, okay, I think it's a 15-pounder. If I'm wrong and it was 13 or it was 17, it's not a big deal. It's unimportant. But if I'm weighing one, most of the time it's because it's important. I want to know because it's a PB or because it's a tournament, and I want it to be accurate.
One thing I like about this Rapala sling is it's got these pockets right here.
Yeah,
so you put the fish's face up in there and it'll keep them from sliding out. And in most cases, 50-pounder, I can stick his nose up in here and his tail up in this other pocket, and he ain't going nowhere.
Do you fit in it, Bobcat?
No, probably not.
Stand it straight up. Let's see how close it is.
Oh, God.
It's pretty close.
But no, put your head in the nose hole.
Now put your head in the hole.
I ain't
Yeah.
sticking my head in there. You know what this thing smells like? Golly. This thing smells awful. I don't never clean it.
Okay,
Right.
pull each plug off at idle. Each time it shuts off.
Yeah.
I still think something's gonna be going on somewhere.
That's not the original prop that's on that boat either.
Yeah, I know.
No, I guarantee it comes with an aluminum prop.
And
They didn't put stainless steel props on 25 horsepower motors.
you know, so if his pitch is way off or he's getting too much drag, that can really affect it because you can't have the pitch so high that it keeps your motor down in the lower RPMs.
He did
Horsepower
say he checked the compression, right?
horsepower is
I don't think so.
RPM times torque divided by whatever. I can't remember the exact number. So if you have low RPM, you're not making the horsepower. You have to have RPM to get horsepower. And if you've got too big a prop on there to where you're not ever letting it spin up enough to get the RPM up, you're not going to be making any power.
Yeah, Chad had to drop his prop because he couldn't get on plane.
Yeah, he says compression is 110 per cylinder. That's really good, but
That's good.
Ricky has a good point. It shouldn't die when you pull one off. It's just if it's running. Is this a 4-cylinder, 2-cylinder? What is it?
2-cylinder.
Probably 2-cylinder.
5 horses, about got to be a 2-cylinder.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
about if it would still run on 1 cylinder.
It will. It'll idle on 1 cylinder. I mean, it'll as long as you're at idle.
Yeah, it should just run really bad.
Well, a while ago, I was saying it should run really good.
They said it will run, but
yeah, it'll just you'll see it start shaking and idle down.
No,
yeah,
everybody was telling him it'll purr with 1 cylinder.
Well, it'll idle with 1 cylinder. I don't know about purring.
Well, I read multiple people say purr and
There's no
hurt.
resistance. There's no resistance against it. There's no
Right. If
weight
I'm
of the
saying
boat,
idle,
no water.
He sent me a video, but I can't watch it.
wish he had service.
It's kind of like putting a set of 44-inch tires on a Toyota Corolla if your prop's too big. You'll still get out there and drive, but you just won't go as fast as you should.
Yeah.
You got to be able to get up into the RPMs to get any kind of power.
Yeah, that motor should be running between 5 and 5,500 RPMs probably.
That's what I was.
And you
45 to 55. I don't know about older motors. It's a 2-stroke, so that's.
You can buy a cheap tachometer on Amazon to wrap around the plug wire to get your RPM reading. If you don't have an RPM, I put an RPM gauge on my boat because it didn't have.
I need to mine. I don't think there isn't a single gauge on my boat that works. I don't think.
Well, RPMs is very important, like you said, for getting on plane and checking your prop, making sure your prop pitch is right. Just or something weird, you drop a cylinder, you'll be able to see it in the RPM gauge. Even trimming, I can look at mine if I'm trimmed down too far and I'm only hitting 5,000 RPMs at wide open throttle. I know I need to trim up a little bit, because you're pushing too much boat through the water and you're not going to reach your maximum RPM range.
That's how
WOT.
Skip is. He keeps his at what, 5,200 or something like that. He likes it around.
Skip says Rapala makes that sling. He's talking to you.
Yeah, you can't buy. I had to order that one from Europe, unfortunately. But there's local sources I found for slings. That one was made by Rapala. I had to order it through eBay, and it took a while to get here from Europe. Carp guys are real big in the weighing fishing slings.
So why don't you just use old grocery sack? Just throw it in the grocery sack, hang the grocery sack there.
Grocery sack.
That wouldn't work.
You talking about Kelly catching fish or what? Put it in a Walmart bag?
Hey,
Put a
hey,
50
hey,
pounder in
hey!
a Walmart bag.
You can't talk about Kelly.
Well, I can as long as he's not fishing with Cody.
Freddie says, I'm not the fart of a smeller. I mean, I'm not a smart of a fella.
Well, there's things that people know that you don't know. That's why we're all here together. So somebody's going to know something.
Skip said 5,000 RPMs is the sweet spot for his boat.
Yeah, I remember him telling me he likes to keep it around that area.
Yeah, Skip's very very meticulous. He does a lot of testing, and Skip's pretty fart smeller.
Pretty fart smeller.
I mean, I was looking at slings right here. There's a lot out there that are available.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Well, we about to
just because he was fishing with Cody don't mean nothing. He still caught the fish.
Well,
I think I seen one on.
Hey, he reeled it in all by himself. He didn't need anybody to hold his hand.
See, I thought I seen one on Tackle Bandit.
Well, my computer is about to die here. I got 19% left.
I mean, would that be fair to say that you only caught yours because Zach was in the boat? Wouldn't that be the same thing?
Yeah.
SmackDown Catfishing has a sling. I'm looking at it. I'm on their website now. I seen one here a while back. They also sell that fancy net with the handle on it, I think.
RS nets?
I'm not sure. Let's see. Shop.
I like SmackDown's products.
Yep.
I like your SmackDown rod holders. They're pretty good.
Yeah, I like that bright
I put a
green
SmackDown
too.
and WWE came up.
Imagine that.
I used to watch a lot of WWF.
Yeah,
It was F then.
Yeah.
I used to watch a lot of wrestling growing up. I think everybody did at some point. I could be wrong, but I think everybody watched a little bit of Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage at some point.
Well, they don't have nets on their website no more. They did. They must have took them off.
I got to get a hold of them. I got some business to take care of. I try to get reverse thread rod holders for the boat. Actually, like 2 years ago when I ordered mine, at the time they told me they were working on it and they'd get them for me. That was 2 years ago.
There you go. Skip says, show some love. Hit that thumbs up. Hit
See,
it.
I told you Skip was smart.
And Freddie said, I will be happy with 10 mile an hour per now until I have Jaydog look at it in person.
That's your best bet. Jaydog knows what's up.
Yep.
And Ricky says, Freddie, if you want to video chat me in Messenger, I can help you with it if you like.
There you go. Ain't they pretty close?
Did you guys see the new Patriot
Hellcat
rods?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big fan of spending that kind of money on.
Man.
Huh?
I said those are sweet.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of spending that kind of money on a rod, but for one, the benefits goes back to the veterans, and I can support that anytime. But they're pretty slick.
And it's a white rod, and they show up good at night.
I
like
the gentleman that he's doing that in conjunction with, Kevin, has invited me and Daddy to come down and fish with him a couple times. He fishes Wilson, I believe. Wilson or Wheeler. I think it's Wilson.
I like Wilson better than Wheeler.
And we really need to make it happen. He catches a lot of awesome fish. He's a really nice guy. Met him a few times, and he's a all-around great fella. If you want 2 Hellcats, Roger, I'll give you waypoints to where they're at. Go see if you can snag them. I give $140 each for them. One's got a pin squall, the other's got a pro rocket on it.
I suppose you ain't out there dragging with treble hooks.
Out there trying to drag.
I offered to come down and do it. He won't let me.
Well, you want me to? I mean, as much as godlike as I am, I can't walk on water. And how am I supposed to get out there to do it?
I just told you I offered a
Swim,
million
Cody.
times.
Yeah, you got friends, low places.
Yeah, real low.
Well, has anybody got anything else they want to talk about real quick? I'm getting low on battery. I think I got 17% now.
No, I got to find something to eat, and then I think I'm going to go over and tinker with the boat for a while.
All right.
If I get it straightened out, I might go bumping this evening.
Roger, tell us
I
about
might too.
the next day of the tournament. What's going on? When it's going to be? Let us know real quick.
Yeah, so the part 2 of the series will be October 1st, where these anglers will go at it again. They do not have to find new water against what they fished on. So if they want to go back and fish the same areas or same lake, river, whatever they fished before, they can do that. If they choose to another area, that's fine too, as long as the same rules apply. They can never have fished that area, no electronics, which these guys are all very good sports about. Everybody took the graphs off the boat. They didn't even have them there. At the end of the show, we found out that everyone admitted just how many times they looked for their graph with no graph to be there. So we had a really good time. I thought it went really well. But these guys will face off again October 1st, and we'll be looking forward to it.
So
is it the combined weight of all 3 tournaments, or
yes,
or is it? Okay.
Yep. So you're going to fish 3 times. Your top 3 fish from each day will go towards your total. So technically, you'll weigh in 9 fish. If you weigh in 9 fish for the tournament, that'll be your total weight at the end. So you've got a pretty good lead right now on everybody, but there's still 2 more days to face off, so anything can happen.
Crazier things have happened.
Yep.
Yeah, this guy won a bumping tournament. That should have never happened.
All right, Bobcat, give us the rundown what you got going on, buddy.
Just working, my friend.
Just working. Nothing,
Working,
no live streams coming up, nothing like that?
Nope. I might go fishing this evening, but I'll go fishing when I can because it's good for me. No. It's hard to go live and go bumping, man.
Yeah. If you don't have somebody reach
out
for
live
you,
the other day.
That's impossible.
I fished 100-foot hole on Monday or Tuesday. That was Tuesday.
Was that your glory hole?
Absolutely skunked. Yeah, Jaydog. It was neat fishing in that deeper water, though. I don't know.
Well,
Nick and Jack or
Nick and Jack,
yeah. So, for anybody that hadn't checked out Bobcat Outdoors, everybody up here on panel has caught some really nice fish before, but I would probably dare to say Bobcat consistently catches huge fish more than anybody up here. And that's not a slight at Roger or Jaydog.
No, that's fact.
No, that's fact. I mean, hell, we ain't going to deny that one.
No,
he's an amazing angler, so be sure to check him out. But the only person on panel that put 2 70-plus pound fish in the boat in the same month.
On the Ohio.
The king of the Ohio.
That's the part that makes it impressive on the Ohio. We just don't, especially these pools up here, we don't ever see that. How Skip caught a 60 and a 65, unreal. Just crazy because we don't see those weights here at all.
It's right place, right time. It has nothing to do with me because I don't care what anybody says. I'm just a fisherman. I don't put nothing into it. I'm never going to brag.
What you put into it is time, and the more time you have bait in the water, the better your odds of catching nice fish. And you definitely dedicate a lot of time to putting bait in the water. And the same with Bobcat. Bobcat's out there all the time. You're seeing lots of fish come from Bobcat, and he's fishing a lot. I
couldn't tell you how many times I got hollered at by Cody because I was just tearing fish up. He's go live. No, I'm having fun. I'm not turning the camera on. Yeah,
there's plenty of days. Zach's always kind of shy with the camera. I don't know. He's not big into it like we are. So when I fish with Zach, it's usually a private setting. Sounds
whoa.
But when I fish solo, or obviously when I'm out with Skip, we enjoy being live.
I fish for fun. I don't fish to prove that I'm better than anybody, or I can do this, or I can do that.
For me, it's not really proving anything because Skip will tell you we've done plenty of lives where we didn't catch fish for 5 hours. But for me, it's more about taking people along on the experience that want to. I've got comments in the past of folks that say that they're unable to get out and fish, health reasons or financial reasons or whatever the reason is, and when they can turn on YouTube and just kind of tag along through the camera, whether you're catching fish or not. A lot of people say, I just love being out on the water. Well, for some folks, they can't physically get out on the water. And so for me, I've got enough of those comments and messages before that I enjoy just taking people along and being part of the experience, win, lose, or draw.
But, it is nice to say me and Tara's done something Roger can't do. Just saying.
All right.
You can't and have it. Two different things.
So, Jaydog, when are you going to play? Or have you got a time in mind when you think you'll be back out on the water, brother?
Saturday morning on Rustic's tournament he's got going on.
All right.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
I'm going to sit here and I'm going to rest till Saturday morning. That way I'm not 100%, but at least I can do something.
All right. Well, Rustic Outdoors, have Saturday morning. Be sure to check it out. Go root for Jaydog. I'm sure that it being a Saturday morning, either Tara or Mason will probably be in the boat with him.
Hopefully both, so I'll catch something.
And everybody knows they are the real anglers of the family up that way. So thank y'all guys for coming up here, hanging out, making this so much fun. Times flew by. And y'all already know what we got going on because you're already watching us, and I don't see too many new faces, so I'm not going to go into no long spiel. But
we had a lot
when
of
y'all
new
get another
faces
boat,
yesterday.
Cody?
What's that?
When y'all get another boat?
Well, I guess when insurance pays out on the lasting, and then if we can find a used one or one in stock, it won't take as long. But if we end up getting a new boat that has to be ordered, that'll take forever. So I don't know. Probably looking for more of a used one just because of the fact the boats that we're interested in are already kind of out of the budget. So finding one that's maybe a couple years old, a 2020, 2019 is going to save money, and plus then it's going to have a lot of time already have rod holders and a graph on it, which is a big help. Yeah. And find one that's got the a Tarova on it at least. Actually, more I've thought about it, I think a Tarova is a better option than a Ulterra. Love the features on the Ulterra, but we fish a lot just as much in the winter as we do in this. We don't slow down for the winter, and I don't know about Uncle Lou was telling me about, sometimes you can get ice in those belts and pulleys. So, but in good time, all we can do is pray that the insurance gets it all settled up sooner rather than later, and go with what we can afford.
Highlight Skip's
comment. What are they going to do
comment.
with the old boat? Are they going to take it, or
I want to try to buy it back.
Time, place, time on the water.
No, the last one he put down there. Because that is absolutely true. I mean, I've never fished with anybody who tried to teach me more than he tried to fish with me. And I told him, shut up. I'm not here to learn. I'm here to fish.
I truly enjoy trying to help people. My way ain't always the right way, but I try to share what I know, and sometimes it helps. Sometimes
he tried to block me from fishing. I had a pole doubled over, and he was standing in front of it talking.
Threw his phone on the floor and everything. I got the fish though.
Yeah, brand new phone. Just got it. Threw it on the floor, cracked the screen right off the bat. Almost lost a Uncle Lou rod. I had to tell him to shut up or get my fish, one of the two.
I said it was Muskrat Adventures. We had an adventure. I didn't say it was muskrat catching.
Yeah. Called a 10-pound flathead on a 2-pound white bass. What was it?
Did y'all see the video I put out a couple days ago?
I don't watch your channel.
I know. Well, if you haven't watched that video yet, that's exactly why I like taking people out and teaching them how to bump. Russ when that fish hit him, it looked like somebody stuck an electric fence on his butt.
Oh boy.
I mean, it was so funny. I mean, he had a ball. Now, at first, the first I think 4 fish we caught, he didn't catch a single fish. I hooked him all. Then he started getting that sinker down to the bottom and putting that bait in the strike zone, and he started catching fish. And I think he caught the next 5 fish that on that trip. And I was having a ball just watching his reaction to getting hit.
Are you
It's
gonna let
fun teaching people how to bump.
you gonna let Brian talk to your co-host like this?
Yeah, what the
You're
crap?
out of here. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I just dropped the link to the video that Bobcat's referring to. If you haven't watched it, you need to jump over and watch it. It's got 481 views. We've got 30 people
wow.
in here. It better get up to 500 when I check back in 30 minutes. Y'all better go watch it.
I already watched it. I was just
I didn't
kidding.
realize it had that many. I didn't realize it had that many views. I hadn't looked at it a couple of days.
So
Yeah, Russ had a good time.
I'm already on it.
Well, as we always say, it's God, family, and the great outdoors, and we'll see y'all next time.
Hey,
See
you
ya.
have to change
Stay
that
there,
now.
bro.
If I'm involved in this click, you got to say what you say and then say in the Jaydog too. Now do it all over again.